guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video I am doing the August Plan With Me video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. So grab your bullet journal, grab a drink and let's get planning. So the pens I use for this cover page are the Tombow 723 in light pink, the Tombow 243 in lime green, the Crayola Super Tips in green and the Unipin Fine Line black fine line pen. For August theme, I wanted something as colourful and playful as when I did the ice cream theme because I really enjoyed that. So I decided to go with watermelons again because they're quite easy to draw. As you know, I'm not very much of a drawer, and because they are the sort of colours that I really like, the pinks and the greens. This font I found on Pinterest, so I just traced it out. And once it's coloured in, I really like how it looks and how it pops against the watermelon colours. I think the idea behind this font is that you just leave bubbly patches of white and colour the rest in black. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but you can see the effect. So for this section I drew a variety of watermelon slices as well as some leaves in a semicircle both above and below the August theme. Looks a bit random to start with, but I think it looks quite good once it's finished. So the watermelons just have a light green stripe at the top and then coloured in with the Super Tips in squares, which creates the rind of the watermelon, if that's the right word. And then I just make sure I leave a gap of white and colour the rest in pink. It took me quite a while to find this colour combination because I couldn't decide which greens looked best, but I don't think it matters. I think as long as it's two different shades of green and a pink. And then I just added some pips and also some random dots around it. So this is the first time I've done a calendar layout for a monthly spread since lockdown because there's not really been much to put in it. But now we're allowed out and I've got a couple of things that I'm doing this month, then I have gone back to using a calendar. So all I've done is laid out the boxes. I always include the boxes that don't have any days in just because I like it to be a full square. And these squares are 2 centimetres by 2 centimetres. I use this pink fine liner to draw a small square in the top corner of each box where I will put the numbers for the days. And then I use a black Crayola Super Tip to block out the days where it's not part of August. And I actually quite like how this looks. Black works really well, I think. Again, the Crayola Super Tips are quite thick pens, so if you have a thinner paper journal, I'd use a normal black felt tip as these will bleed through. For the title, I just used the Tombow brush pen and drew around it with the black fine liner to create a bubble effect. I then use the fine liner to enter the dates into the small boxes, and then I have a thinner black pen which I use to write the days of the week at the top. So for my habit tracker I use the same layout every month. I have 12 habits that I track and I use the calendar layout. So for each of my habits I will draw out a box. This month is 6 squares down as well as 7 across for the days of the week. So it does take up quite a lot of room. It's normally a little bit smaller when it's a 4-week month instead of a 5-week month. So it is a bit tedious doing it this way. I do have a calendar stamp, I just don't really like how it looks. I do prefer writing the days out, but if you wanted to do this and you wanted to make it a bit quicker, you can just use a stamp. Or you can print a calendar layout out. So for the title I just use this font, which is, I don't know what it's called, and then the calligraphy font next to it. So I do like it when it's 2 different fonts next to each other. I use the greens that I used for the watermelon to highlight the tops. This is where I write the title of my habits. So I have sort of 4 different sections of habits that I track. I have lifestyle sort of habits, exercise habits. So the ones at the top are my exercise habits. The second line down is sort of my health, lifestyle. Third one down is food and well-being, and then the bottom ones are sort of tidying up, organisation. So this bit takes a while. I just write out the dates into each of the boxes. So again, you can skip that bit if you don't want to do that. You can use the stamp. So this next page is my mood tracker. When I do my mood trackers, I like to do one big picture related to my theme. So this month it's a watermelon, and then I split that one bigger picture up into the 31 segments for the month. I think I just prefer this because I don't like drawing the same thing over and over and over again. I definitely prefer this than if I had 31 watermelon pieces, for example. I then double check that I do have 31 segments, because it's been done before where I've got to the bottom and realised I didn't have enough space, and then add the different days and do the green at the top. I did forget to leave a white space, so I try to leave a bit of one there, and then do the stripes. So this font for the title is a bit of fake calligraphy. I go in with the lines and then just thicken up certain parts of the letters. I can't do lettering, so this is my way of doing it, and I think it looks okay. I then decided to colour in the pips because they weren't any days, and I think it just looks better, and it will look better at the end once the pip's coloured in black. For the different moods, I've just used a variety of pinks as I want the watermelon to be pink. The next page that I create is my monthly memories spread. So I made a New Year's resolution at the beginning of this year to try and take more photos. So each month I have this spread with space for 8 photos of like things I want to capture for the month. I've left it black and white this month because I do like it in black and white, but I may go in and put some colour in later if I change my mind. It's really easy to do. It's 4.5 by 5.5 centimetres is the centre square. So that is 9 by 11 of the dotted grid squares. And then I go 0.5 centimetre or 1 dot grid square out around the top and leave enough room at the bottom. So that's 1 full centimetre at the bottom of the frame. To be able to write in what my memories are, and obviously that makes it look a bit like a Polaroid. I then put in some rope as if it's hanging up and some little pegs. And every single month I do this, I forget that I need to leave a gap for the pegs, so I go in with Tipp-Ex and just take out the line before I colour it in. I then use a brown felt tip to colour in the pegs and my darker brown brush pen to colour in the rope. For the title I use the fake calligraphy again. I always like to start with the O in the centre to be able to get my spacing. And then it just puts the title in the middle. Ignore the giant fluffy dressing gown, I clearly decided to get a little bit cozy when I was doing this. My next 2 spreads are related, so one is my Apple challenge, which is my challenge that's set by my Apple Watch each month. I never know what that is until the first of the month, so I just do the title and leave the rest of the page blank before I know what I'm going to have to track. And then the second page is my exercise tracker page. So I track any exercise I do throughout the month, and my limit is it has to be a minimum of 1 mile or 100 calories burnt. So for this, all I do is create 4 columns for the date, the duration, the distance, and the calories burned, I think. And again, I'm just using the colours from the watermelon. So the final spread of this video is my first weekly. I only ever do 1 week when I do my monthly spread because I don't know what other spreads I might include that month. So for this weekly, I did a really basic layout. I had the calendar, the title, and its illustration on the left-hand column, and then I have a notes/mind dump section on the far right column, and then I just have a header per day where there's enough room for me to write some tasks, etc. So this is the final flip through. I really hope you've enjoyed this month's theme and watching this video and planning with me. If you have tried any of these, please don't forget to tag me over on Instagram. And if you like bullet journal videos, I post these every Friday, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.